Derek Carr. There was some, I guess you could call it breaking news. Let's call it breaking news. The Jets have planned to visit with Derek Carr this weekend. And I found it very, very interesting because I've seen I've seen sort of, a blend between hate and love of Derek Carr on social media. People seem to forget what Derek Carr has done over the past 9 years, or I guess 8 years, and only cares about what happened this season. We do realize that Derek Carr has the most comeback wins since entering the league. We do realize he's a pretty good fourth quarter, one of the best fourth quarter quarterbacks in the league. That's just a fact. He won a bunch of one-score games last year. This year he didn't get it done because maybe Josh McDaniels doesn't know how to scheme like a whole team late game. Who knows? The defense was underwhelming. He's had, on average, he's had the 32nd ranked defense throughout his entire tenure with the Raiders. But set the plan a visit to the New York Jets this weekend, and I thought, that makes sense because I've been saying it on the show. Derek Carr could be the perfect fit for the Jets, and it's something that I alluded to earlier in the show when talking about Aaron Rodgers. Derek Carr is a very, very loyal quarterback. He didn't turn on the team. The team turned on him. And you hear in his press conferences and the interviews about what happened, he gets emotional talking about it. When talking about the Raiders in his time there, he gets emotional talking about it. I mean, that's just the truth. He's a very, very loyal quarterback. That's just who Derek Carr is. I think he would fit really, really, really well with the Jets because he would be dedicated in the offseason and throughout the season to make a connection with the New York Jets and his teammates and the media because that's who Derek Carr is. I'm hearing talks about Carolina. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, there was a report out saying that, he had an interview set up right after the Saints, but he said, I'm good. I'm not going to go. I don't think Carolina would be a good fit. Bad offensive line. Receivers could be better. Running backs are average and for some reason peaked like midway through the year, mid to late in the year. The Panthers' offense is not a very, very good offense. They looked really, really good, but I think that could just be a facade. They have a new head coach now, Frank Wright. Look how he looked against with the Colts this past season. He got fired. They hired Jeff Saturday to replace him. Derek Carr's dedicated. He's motivated to, right the wrong, I guess, that the Raiders did to him. The Raiders did him dirty. I think it's unfair. So would Derek Carr fit with New York? Yeah, I think he would. Because like I said, Derek Carr is loyal compared to, an Aaron Rodgers who takes the off seasons off and, just doesn't really care about, making a connection with the people around him. You hear stories about quarterbacks like Tom Brady walk up to like the rookie and say, "Hey, my name's Tom Brady. What's yours?" Introducing himself around to the new players. And people already know who Tom Brady is because everybody knows who Tom Brady is, the greatest quarterback of all time. Derek Carr gives me that sort of vibe, that nice guy who's dedicated, who's motivated to succeed. And he's not a bad quarterback at all. And I've been saying this. The Jets just need a distributor. They don't need a uber playmaker like an Aaron Rodgers, who they're going to be paying, exorbitant amounts of money because his contract is ridiculous. Derek Carr would be a perfect fit there, I think. Derek Carr or even Jimmy G. People hate Jimmy G because he gets hurt a lot, doesn't play well, all that. Jimmy G or Derek Carr is a perfect fit. They're cheap. They can be cheap. I think Jimmy G would be cheaper than Derek Carr, but definitely cheaper than Aaron Rodgers. They play well. They're dedicated. And overall, they're just nice guys. Jimmy G is a very, very nice guy. Very, very likable guy. Same thing with Derek Carr. Very, very likable. So would Derek Carr fit? 100% I think he would fit because he could just be that distributor and let the Jets playmakers do what they do best. Make plays. Elijah Moore. Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall. I believe you still got Conklin there as well, the tight end. The offensive line needs a left tackle or maybe another guard. But your offensive line's been really great. Derek Carr would have Derek Carr for the first time in his career would have a top 10, and the Jets last year were a top 5 defense. So that'll be the first time in his career he actually has a defense. And God forbid the Jets, are down in the fourth quarter and they need Derek Carr to come back and save them. He's more than capable of doing it because that's who Derek Carr is. Derek Carr has been a great fourth quarter come from behind quarterback. That's how they made the playoffs 2 years ago because of him. I mean, we saw it against the Ravens in week 1 2 years ago. He beat out Lamar Jackson. And throughout that entire year, it was great. This year was weird. You bring in Josh McDaniels, who had a bad reputation as a head coach already. He's not very successful. He comes in, Devontae Adams. They get Devontae Adams. He's excited to play with Derek Carr. It was a whole thing. Aaron Rodgers' personality fits more with the Raiders, and Derek Carr, I think, would fit anywhere else besides the Raiders because those two personalities don't really sync up. So I think, and by the way, this is the first quarterback that they're knocking out. They haven't talked to Jimmy G yet. They haven't planned I believe there was a report that they asked about Aaron Rodgers, I think a day or two ago. But they're gonna meet with Derek Carr. I guess they can't really meet with Aaron Rodgers because he's right now locked in a bathroom. But I think Derek Carr would be a perfect fit. He's cheaper than Aaron Rodgers, a little bit more expensive than Jimmy G, I think. He's a distributor. That's all he needs to be. The defense is great. Sauce Gardner is the highest graded cornerback since 2013 according to Pro Football Focus. And he's been tremendous. They may have found another Darrelle Revis. Might have found Sauce Island right there. Got DJ Reed. You picked up Jordan Whitehead. I don't think you extended him, but you may have. CJ Mosley's there. You got Jermaine Johnson. You got a very, very good defensive line. Your defense is good. I believe it was number 4 this past year. Your offensive line needs a little bit of work, injuries and such. Your running backs, Breece Hall's coming back. He's going to be healthy this year. You bring in Derek Carr. You got 2 very, very viable receivers that are very, very capable of doing what they do, and that's making plays. I mean, there's not much competition for your job. We got Zach Wilson, who got benched twice in 1 year. Yeah, I don't think that's really much competition at all. But, Mike White's on the market. Would I trade away Zach Wilson, bring in Mike White, who's a better quarterback than Zach Wilson, as your backup in case, Derek Carr gets hurt? Maybe. And I could be wrong with this, but I think the only 2 games Derek Carr missed in his 9-year tenure with the Raiders were the 2 he got benched in. Talk about, Iron Man loyalty and dedication. That is Derek Carr. People hate Derek Carr just at what happened this past season. We don't know if it's Derek Carr. It could be the offense. It could be Josh McDaniels. Because Josh McDaniels does not have a very good reputation as a head coach. Definitely not a winning reputation. So we'll see. We will see. I think that Derek Carr would work better than a Jimmy G maybe. Would he? He's not as talented as Aaron Rodgers. No, of course not. But could he do the same things that the Jets need, and that's just win games and get it to the playmakers? Sure. And he probably costs about $10, $15 million less than Aaron Rodgers does.